òun sẹ́lẹ́lẹ́ ó milẹ̀ títì Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́ òun sẹ́lẹ́lẹ́ ó milẹ̀ títì Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́ òun sẹ́lẹ́lẹ́.
Thank you so much for being there this morning again. You know, when you hear the sound, you know what is right there on the air, coming and reaching you right there wherever you are all over the world. It is the program you've been waiting for, Eco Pointer on Success Radio Ibadan. It is another Tuesday morning where we share among ourselves financial information, business information that are meant to help you, to support you in whatever you do as far as money is concerned. That is why this program does not have exemption for anybody. Everybody is involved because everybody has to deal with money. And your anchor on the program, my name is Kolawole Kayode. We have some information to share with among ourselves today, and as you know, we can always get involved. Share your comments, send your comments, share your opinion, and if you're already here on the program, help us to share the program on your Facebook, share to your contact, and also send your comments. This morning, we have the information that the CBN is charging licensing fee from foreign banks who want to have offices in Nigeria. And how much are they going to get from them? You get to know. Nigeria is spending $3.3 billion on automobile parts annually. What does that have to do with us? What are the opportunities that are waiting for you there? We'll get to know. Are you aware there are plenty of jobs in the security industry in Nigeria? That is another information we have brought to us this morning. Another information is from the Nairametrics, 9th of May 2023, says exploring key areas to increase clean energy access in Nigeria. That is another opportunity, you know. This one is from The Guardian. It says Nigeria, Pakistan move for direct flights to promote economic ties. And this one says external reserve. External reserve lose $4.15 billion in 1 year, and Naira comes down by 10%. All right, let's have more of the information. Let's have the details of what have been mentioned this morning. The Central Bank of Nigeria is to be getting 15 million naira licensing fee from any foreign bank that want to have their representative office on the shore of Nigeria. This is one of the ways by which the government is earning income into the national treasury. And as you know, almost every investor around the world wants to have their business right here in Nigeria. Because the population is there, people are there, and surely somebody somewhere is going to open an account. And the fact that there have been banks already in Nigeria does not stop a new investor. Because one person, according to the Nigerian economic environment, is permitted to have up to 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts. The only difference is that the person have just one BVN number. So even if you have 20 accounts in the bank, you have just one BVN number, and with that one, all the 20 accounts can be traced. So sometimes people have to open multiple accounts for business purpose, a particular account for their manufacturing factory, another account for the business, for the sales outlet, another account for the wages and salary they pay to their workers, whichever one. But one thing is just one BVN number the person is going to have. And if a new bank is to establish in Nigeria, they are welcome. We need more jobs. At least some Nigerians will get jobs through that. The Leadership newspaper give us this report and says Nigeria spends $3.3 billion on automobile parts annually. Let us just assume, let's convert that to Naira. If you convert it to Naira, the official rate is about 463. The black market rate is about 700. Now, let's say at the black market rate, let's say 700 naira, 3.3 billion will be equivalent to 2.2 trillion naira. About 2.2 trillion naira. That's a very massive industry, an industry that could take, where transaction there is up to 2.2 trillion naira. You can imagine that will create job for thousands, hundreds of thousand people. The chairman of the forthcoming West African Automotive Show Conference in Lagos, and by name Lukman Mahmudu, said local manufacturing have stalled despite investment in the automobile industry. He said Nigeria depends solely on import of used parts and substandard new ones. That is, most of the automobile parts we use in Nigeria, they are either used one that we usually call tokunbo, or substandard new ones. The new ones, they don't last for long. They damage so easily. And the reason being that the price of the original one that are new is almost is so much that most people don't even think of going to get those ones. And is the one that gave us the information that importation of tokunbo parts, which is used second-hand parts, and the new ones that are substandard, from wherever we import them, all this importation, they are up to $3.3 billion every single year. It is not also that Nigeria has never made impact in this side of the industry. In this country, automotive industry has thrived in the 1970s, in the 1980s, because there were factories, there were companies that produce automobile, that produce the parts, that produce so many aspects of this in this industry. In the 1970s and the 1980s, Nigeria had a capacity, based on what was on ground then, Nigeria had a capacity of producing up to 140,000 units of different parts, even automobile. And up to 80% of that capacity as at those years were utilized. But thereafter, when it comes to the late 1980s and coming to 1990s, not to even talk of the 21st century that we are in already, a lot of things begin to downturn. The industry begin to lose their capacity. There were no production again. So many parts that become moribund. You remember the Volkswagen plant in Lagos and the Peugeot plant in Kaduna and the Leland factory in Ibadan. In Lagos, the Volkswagen factory, they produce the little they can and they assemble the rest. In Kaduna, there was assembling of Peugeot parts to make vehicles, and the little they can produce, they also do. And in Ibadan, there was Leland, where they assemble those trucks in the city of Ibadan here. I shook my head because I just remember something. And what was that thing? I just remember, if you enter all those factories as we speak now, you see that some of them have become storehouses for some imported goods. You see that some of them have become, farmland where some security people who remain there have been using them to grow agbado and beans and yam and, in their small scale to get something to eat. You see that some hoodlums have turned those places to their hideouts and many of those things. Right here in our face. The government is in the country, state governments were there, local governments are there, the federal government is sitting in Abuja. All of them keep telling us they love us. All this president, the governor, the chairman, they keep telling us they love us and they are doing their best to help this country. But the more they do their best, it seems we are not seeing it. So according to this Mr. Lukman Mahmudu is saying this, what we import into Nigeria in terms of automotive parts, if we pick it up here in this country, we can do it. Is this an already a very large industry? A very large industry. Now, there are a lot of them we can do. I begin to ask question here that, okay, all of us, we know what we call tricycle. That's what we usually call marwa. That's marwa as you look at it. What is in marwa that Nigeria should not be able to do? Can't we pick up something and do something there? Even if we have not been able to produce the engine, what about the tire? What about the metal part? What about the handle? What about the steering? What about those small aspects there? What about the wire on the body? All those aspects. There are a lot of, sector, a lot of divisions in the automobile industry that will create job for plenty of people. Another one is what is in a motorcycle, Okada, that we should not be able to do. So these are challenges unto us. And in this area, I agree that individual alone cannot do it all. We all need to be involved. The government have to take their stand. And by the way our situation is in this country, the federal government need to take their stand on the issues that we have, especially in the automobile industry. The government has to ensure that what we produce here is also being patronized even by the government. I'm aware that there are some producers of automobile in Nigeria, even if they are not producing everything, at least they are doing something and they assemble it. Now, my question is this, that if we have that kind of factory, somebody will pick it up, whether government have a stake there or not, whichever way. One thing is that there is a company that can produce vehicles in this country. Now, that kind of a company, the federal government need to give them the full backing that they need. And how do I mean? If the government give them the full backing that they need, and the investment that they have made becomes so profitable unto them, the government need to ensure that government officials, any vehicle that need to be bought by the government is bought from that place, that made in Nigeria vehicle. It has to be that. If the government ensure, if they want to do, something again special, let governors begin to use the vehicle of those companies as their official vehicle. Let the president use their vehicle as official vehicle. You see, that is going to motivate so many people to patronize them. And after all, during the time of COVID-19, yes, there's a country in this Africa, Madagascar by name. They insisted that they have a panacea, a drug for COVID-19. And their president took it up and it was advertising it for everybody in the world. Even Nigeria, reportedly, Nigeria has to go there to get some quantity of that drug, whether it will work or not. Even if it doesn't work perfectly eventually, at least they have made impact, they have done something, and many people have patronized them. Let our own president, let our own governor, yes, be the advocate for these automobile, products that are made right here in this country. So it's a big area. If the business becomes so productive, so profitable, more people are going to enter into the industry. And before we know it, Nigerians will begin to produce what we need in terms of vehicle and will not need to be importing. And that will reduce, our import burden and make our naira value to appreciate. This morning, we brought of jobs in the security industry. Some of the jobs include personnel. Because security has become a big problem for Nigeria, and this is how economic activities run. Anything that has become problematic is also an economic opportunity. Because security has become problematic in Nigeria, in the neighborhood, there are armed robbers, there are thieves, there are petty thieves, there are kidnappers, all those kind of a thing. Now, based on that, do you know at that point, it shows that a lot of people can be employed in this area. Our government need to get to take up a lot of things here. I still keep insisting that the number of people employed for our Western Nigeria Security Network, the Amotekun as we call them, the number of people employed there is not enough. The vacuum is still much. Yes, I'm still looking forward to where a single state, yes, could employ up to 5,000 personnel, yes, in the Amotekun Corps, so that at least you can spread them and distribute them in so many places. In this Ibadan city alone, a lot of neighborhood in this Ibadan city have been troubled by all these thieves and robbers that come around in the night and in the day. Even if we have 5,000 Amotekun personnel, it will still not be enough to police the city of Ibadan alone, not to talk of the entire Oyo state. And so many people who are thieves themselves or who have been robbed themselves, they could get job through the security industry, and that will help the country. It's going to be an opportunity for everyone, economic one. And the government could work it out in such a way that even people in the neighborhood could also contribute to the security fund to pay all these people who are providing security services. Nigeria, Pakistan move for direct flight to promote there is a good move between Nigeria and Pakistani officials. Recently, Nigeria was represented by the Minister of Aviation, Adi Sirika. He was in Islamabad and he met the Pakistani officials and they had a lot of discussions. And one of the key things they want to do is to ensure that there could be a direct flight from Pakistan to Nigeria and from Nigeria to Pakistan. And what does that have to mean? The moment there is a direct flight between Nigeria and Pakistan, the interpretation is that economic activities become, easier. It will be easier to export commodities from Nigeria to Pakistan. It will be easier to bring product from Pakistan into Nigeria, and businesses between the two countries will boom. Thank you so much, Arinola Adebayo, for being there with us. We appreciate it. Eco Pointer is the program. This is where we share business information, financial information for our prosperity and for expansion of our businesses. Now, the issue between the Nigeria and Pakistan, when this effort is solidified and it begins to work, the interpretation is that, it will be easy for we have a lot of agricultural produce in this country. We can take out there, and that will create job for many Nigerians. And there could be something we can bring from Pakistan into Nigeria that will also benefit Nigerians. And it's like another open door, like the jackpot syndrome we're talking about in this country, that Nigeria is trying to build, ensure a direct flight between Pakistan and Nigeria. That opened another window for the jackpot people to move out of the country and go and seize opportunities if there be in Pakistan. You know why I'm not against the jackpot syndrome? I'm not against the jackpot syndrome because when some people leave the shore of Nigeria to go and look for greener pasture elsewhere, one, that give the space for those who are still here. The job they are doing here, before they left, at least somebody else will pick up that job. The office they were here, before they left, somebody will pick up that office, and that will create job for somebody here while they also go out there to get another opportunity. Another reason why I also support, I'm not against the jackpot syndrome, is that when people go out there, the money they get, the fund they are able to gather together, many of them, they find a way to send the money back into Nigeria. And those money is part of what is used to build house. Some used to build factories. Some used to pay school fees. Some used to take care of their families, and many like that. And that is helping the economy of Nigeria. And it's creating another job for many other people. So why should we stop people who are going out? Especially if you don't have an option, for them. The only thing I will emphasize in this area, in the jackpot syndrome, is that as whatever effort and whichever country you want to go the right way. You understand? Go the right way. Don't let somebody bamboozle you and deceive you so that you not be stranded where you are going. Go the right way. Get your papers. You see, when you get to a foreign land and you don't have your proper papers, hey, it is terrible. If somebody is in Nigerian prison, his family member could come to check on him. They can be begging the police or the prisoner or the warders, and they will talk to them and they will understand and say and things like that. But in a foreign land, they don't know who you are. Whether you are a terrorist, they don't even know, because you don't have the proper documentation. Whether you are a terrorist, whether you come to bomb their country, they don't even know. So if they shoot the person, if they kill the person, nobody knows anything. The person is just lost, and nobody is able to find out. And the moment somebody does not have the necessary document, even the Nigerian government will not be able to trace the person. That is part of the issue we have in this country. When we say Nigerian government don't care for their people in the diaspora, some of them don't have documents, so there is no way to trace them. It is the person who have identification you can trace. What about the person that there is no record? If America will trace his own people, our own people in Nigeria, it's because they are documented. So they can go through the record and say, okay, there are 5,000 Americans in Nigeria. But if there is no documentation, how will they trace them? Even if they find them, even if they see them out there, the moment that person does not have a document is another problem. So what I would rather emphasize is, if you are to leave the shore of Nigeria to look for greener pasture elsewhere, do it the right way, get the proper documentation. Don't let somebody just deceive you somewhere. Make sure everything is properly done and it is done well. External reserves in Nigeria lose $4.15 billion just within 1 year. The external reserve in this country. And the external reserve is like savings that Nigeria has. The savings, as a worker, if you are earning salary, if you are doing business, you get profit, at least you are expected to be saving something for the raining day. Because there will be one day you not go to office and you have to spend money. There could be a particular day you don't go to shop and you have to spend money. Even the money in your pocket that you have not spent is also considered as savings. The reasons are not far-fetched. The reasons are not too far away from us. And that's why all of us need to rise up and be able to help this economy, this Nigeria, this country. One of the reasons for the reduction in our savings as a nation is that the foreign inflow into Nigeria